I'm being joined tonight by the governor of Rivers State, Governor Wike, who joins us from Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight on the program. We are at a crossroad, aren't we, in this country? And the situation that we are faced with, Governor Wike, is such that demands that everyone should come together to find a solution. When the Senate, our senators are telling the president to find a foreign or seek foreign help, the House is saying declare a state of emergency. You as Chief Security Officer of your state. From your own standpoint, if you look at all the situation, how do we overcome this major security threat that our nation faces today?
Sean, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. If you may repeat your question so that I don't know whether it is from your side or from our own side, but I can't hear you very well.
Okay, I can hear you loud and clear. So what I asked is, we are at a crossroad as a people in this country, and we are seeking solution. So if the Senate is saying, or senators are asking the president to seek foreign help, at the House of Representatives, they're saying declare a state of emergency. As a state governor, from your own point of view, what do you suppose is a solution or the way to go at this crossroad in resolving our insecurity challenge at today?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, before you talk about solution, the government in place today should be able to know that whether are we doing what we're supposed to do. If no, then the issue of solution comes in. And if the government in place, which has refused to agree that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then even if you provide a solution, that will not work. But if the government accepts and agrees that yes, obviously we are failed, we need support, we need ideas in order to improve on these challenges. But if the government does not agree, so what solution will you prefer? However, be it as it may, it is very obvious that we have said this clearly, and that the issue of security is paramount in any governance. And that when the government cannot protect life and property, then that government has failed. There's no two ways about it. There's no propaganda that can solve the problem. Now, what we are saying is this, that we must come to terms that what are the problems? The problems are this. We have problem of kidnapping today. We have problem of banditry. We have problem of cultism, as the case may be. Now, the government at the level, the government at the federal level, are they willing to cooperate with the states in order to fight this insecurity? Or always politicizing them? If they are willing to work with the government at various states, now look, this is a problem that affects all of us, irrespective of party. Then the government will get it right. But when the government does not believe that, then it's a serious problem. Today, I was shocked when I heard, in fact, I won't say shocked, I was very pathetic to the governor of Niger State, that he has cried and cried and cried and cried to the federal government. And that until now, nothing has happened. That is a state that's in the ruling party. That's a state that's in the ruling party. Now look, he has to speak out that enough is enough, that Boko Haram has taken over the place, and there's no need to hide again. Now, it is for the federal government, like he said, I have cried to you. What do you do to support me to fight this insurgency? And the federal government has given a deaf ear. And so he has no choice but to cry out, right? So if a state government or a state governor who knows what it takes in his state comes out to the government, look, this is the problem we have. Can we do this? Can we do that? And the federal government is not listening to him. What solution do you think the man can provide that will work in order to solve these problems? So I think that the federal government, for me, has believed that they are not interested in the life and property of Nigerians. Forget about propaganda. Forget about propaganda. There's no day you wake up, you will hear 20 people have been killed in social state. The next day you wake up, you will hear 30 people have been kidnapped. The next day you wake up, you will hear 10 soldiers have been killed. every day, every day, every day, every day. And governors will meet them, look at the problems we have. Or they will tell you, look, we are on top of the situation. We'll do whatever we can do. Don't bother, go back. And at the end of the day, nothing has been done. If I say, for example, the River State, now you have heard that I've imposed coffee. How did I impose coffee? On the exit and entry point of River State. I have taken a proactive decision that, look, the people who attack the soldiers, I mean, the custom men and police and the Air Force, where did they come in from? They came in from Owerri. What time? At the early hours of the morning, like 1 a.m. Now, what about those who came in to attack the soldiers in Abu-Odua? So, we went to the Security Council and said, look, let's take a proactive action. What is proactive action? When did they normally attack? They attack from social time to social time. So why not place a curfew? If you are from Abia, by 8 p.m., you cannot enter River State. And by 8 p.m., you cannot leave River State to Abia. The same thing applies in Akwa Ibom. If you are from Akwa Ibom, by 8 p.m. you can't come in. And by 8 p.m. you can't go out. The same thing in Owerri and River State. And of course, you take Eche, which also leads to Imo State, Ibodo to the rivers. Then you also come to Omok, where you have Ebuma and Imo State. Then you talk about Bayelsa and the rest of them. So these are proactive actions we have taken to see that we don't have these people who are coming from ourselves to attack people in our state. But the point remains that the federal government must agree, yes, we cannot, as it is today, contain the security situation in our country. And everyone has to sit down, not to say on party basis, not to say, I want to help you because you have been coming to a villa to see Mr. President. I don't want to help you because we have not been seeing you. So it requires everybody's collective efforts. I have someone, an emergency meeting of first stakeholders in the state. All traditional rulers, all chairman of councils, all CDC chairmen, youth leaders, everybody, to understand that, look, where we are now, it's not something we can fold our hand to say, we depend on federal government to solve our problem. It requires all of us to sit together to say, look, our security is important. Our lives important. Our property are important. That we must, as a matter of people, support what the security people will have in the state, what they are doing. If not, it will not work. So right. How many times? I mean.
Okay, Governor, let's take a breather. You're going to talk to us about a few other issues. The Electoral Act amendment, because there is a protest today in that respect. There's also issues in your political party, the People's Democratic Party. But when we come back, I'll ask you another question as relating to the issue of security and how we can move forward as a people. Don't go anywhere, everyone. Our conversation with Governor Wike of Rivers State continues right after now. Thank you, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation with Governor Wike, Governor of Rivers State. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your time tonight. One more question on this issue of security before we move over to some other issues. When they say declare a state of emergency, I mean, you understand what that means, and so do most of our viewers tonight. But how that will work is another issue. Another matter is what Senator Ekwuremadu has asked the president to do. And we also we have heard also from the former Senate President Bukola Saraki saying, do not be shy to seek foreign help. Professor Wole Soyinka has said the same thing, seek help. In what form do you hope that this help will be? Is it in form of mercenaries, or can we trust any other nation like America, like China to help us, or Russia to help us out in this situation that we are in?
Well, Benga, thank you very much. Like those names you mentioned, it is very clear. You see, when you are incapacitated, when you have problems, there's nothing wrong in you asking people who have the capacity, who have what it takes to solve such problems. You don't need to shy away because maybe Nigeria is an independent country, it's a sovereign country, and therefore, as the president of the country, I don't need to go and seek help from people outside to come and solve my security problems. No, that's not the correct thing. You see, there are countries who have had these issues before. There are countries who have been involved in this kind of problem before, and they have solved the problems. Now, if for example, you go to other countries that have the capacity to help you to solve this problem, does not need ego shouldn't come in. All you have to take, for example, whether it is America, whether it is China, whether it is Russia, whether it is Britain, it doesn't matter the country, but that this country has capacity in terms of technology, in terms of manpower, to see that you come up from this problem. There's nothing wrong in seeking for assistance. I think that's an understanding of those who spoke to you. And because whether you like it or not, there's nothing you can provide in terms of governance, and you don't provide security. You don't protect life and property. Everything you are doing goes down to zero. So it is one key issue that any president or leader at whatever level you find yourself must say, for whatever it takes you, whether you want to seek assistance anywhere in order to protect your people, you must go ahead and do it. But at the end of the day, if you cannot protect your people, so what is the essence of, look, I want to give you good governance? What is good governance without security? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
But what in your view, Governor, apologies, what in your view do you think is the problem? Is it the lack of personnel to fight this war? Is it that we do not have enough police, or we do not have enough firepower? Because you see that our security formations, military formations, police stations are being attacked, and with little or less repel from them. What in your own view do you think is at the heart of our problem?
So many factors are involved. If you listen from the security agency, they'll tell you they lack the equipment. They lack what it takes to fight terrorists or these insurgents. They tell you that. Now look, we don't have the equipment. What do you want us to do? So that's a factor. Two, the morale of these security agencies are down. Take, for example, what happened in River State at the checkpoints when they are coming from Owerri. We had about 3-4 checkpoints. At the first checkpoint, when they killed the custom officers, the second, third checkpoints were aware. But you know what they did? They ran away. They were afraid. They cannot. If I die now, what happens? What happens? The government will not take care of my family. So that is also another factor. Another factor, as far as I'm concerned, is that the president of North Country has not shown enough strength to say, look, I am willing to fight these insurgents. I'm willing to fight this insecurity problem in this country. As a leader, when people see that you are willing to do something, I can tell you, you will see that people will come out and give in their best. But when they see that the leadership is neither here nor there, you don't even know where the leadership stands, then they are afraid. You heard what the Governor Autumn said about this indiscriminate policy of some people. These people will commit crime, nothing will happen. These people will commit crime, then you see them attacking them. Whether you like it or not, it affects the fight against insurgency and terrorism. So as a leader, as a president, people must see that you are willing to fight this fight to the last. And that follows all the, it's not a question of coming on television to give propaganda that this government is willing. No, it's not by mouth. It's by people seeing it, that you are really willing and you are doing it.
All right.
It's not to tell us every day that, look, this government is prepared and committed to fight for the unity of this country, to make sure insurgents are being eliminated. But let us see, the security agents have told you, we don't have weapons. So what attempt have you made to make sure these weapons or equipment are being provided? But like I said, and then being sure that, look, for whatever we are doing, what it has shown today, Nigeria requires a state police in order to support the fight of the kind we are seeing today. Without state police, it will be very, very difficult.
Okay. Governor, let's go into issues of electoral law and elections. A lot of people have started talking about 2023 already. It's 2 years away. Your party has asked that the present government should deliver an electoral law that is capable of getting us good election. But it appears that there are suspicion as relating to the passage of that bill. Why do you think that is happening?
Sharon, I've said this repeatedly and I'll continue to say it. There's no suspicion. It is a reality that this government does not want to give Nigeria a credible election in 2023. Why would they want to give Nigeria a credible election in 2023? Because they know very, very clearly that with the way things stand today, Nigerians have lost confidence in this government. And know that no reasonable Nigerian will say, I would want this APC government to come back in 2023. And therefore, what do we do to make sure there's no credible election, there's no fair election, is to make sure that we do not allow this amendment of the Electoral Act that ought to give us a credible and fair free election in 2023 to take place so that they'll be able to manipulate the 2023 election. It's very clear. In fact, I'm surprised that Mr. President will not even champion it to say, look, I promise Nigerians that one thing I must leave enough, even for anything, I must give Nigerians free, fair, and credible election. And how do you give free, fair, credible election? Is by making sure that, look at the lapses of the previous elections, and then make input to say, look, from what we have had during my own time, see what we have identified are the problems and the suggestions being made by people. And based on that, I must move forward to say, look, National Assembly, we must bequeath a legacy that Nigerians will be happy that during our time, if for anything, that we have had a free and fair, credible elections that not only Nigerians, but the world will say, yes, this is what we expected. But he's not taking it up.
Okay.
And
so
then you see that assembly, one thing here today, they say one thing there tomorrow. All these things are strategies of the ruling party to deny Nigerians in 2023 of having a free, fair, and credible election. There's no two ways about it. Don't say you are suspected. That's what they want to do.
Governor, let's anchor at this point, and just about 30 seconds or thereabout, if you can tell us what is happening in your party. There seems to be some trouble brewing, and your party is in some crisis. There is a member of your party who has alleged and gone to the ICPC and EFCC to petition the party on the state of its finance and the expenditure made in the last election cycle. The Secondus leadership had come out to say that is not true. Your party seems to be in some quagmire as relating to what is spent and how it spent it.
That's not a problem with due respect. We like to blow things over proportion. You know, that's not correct. If somebody, and you ask yourself, with due respect, I have not seen the petition, but I have heard that somebody went to EFCC and ICPC to drop a petition against the national chairman or whoever. That is his own business, but what is the level of the person at the party? As far as I'm concerned, I have my own way of doing things. If you are really a committee party member, and then you believe that you owe everything to the party, and there's a problem you feel that's the party, that's the way you bring it to the party. I have severally spoke against decisions or activities of the National Working Committee. That does not mean I should go a step further than to go to EFCC to say, look, money is being taken or this or that. So the president, I don't know whether the president is in a position to say this money have not been approved or this money have been spent without any approval. So it will be difficult for any person to lay that claim. But as far as I'm concerned, as the true and committed party member, I don't think that is the best way to go. But that again does not mean that the party is in crisis simply because somebody was a prisoner for that the party is in crisis. It's not true. I mean, even in government, even in my own government, sometimes people in my government say, look, this is good, this is what is happening. Does that mean that there's a crisis in my government? No, it does not mean so. You see, we members of the press, we always, by the time you see one thing, that if you even read Have you read the petition? How what is the petition? What are the documents to prove that petition? It's not because somebody says this and therefore you begin to say there's a crisis in the party. Look at the number of the membership of the party. If we have up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million members of the party, and then one member writes a petition, does that mean that the party is in crisis? Certainly not. If the person maybe believes that, oh, this is what he thinks, even though I don't believe in that process, does not mean that the party is in crisis. So if you are 6 million members in a party, and then somebody writes a petition, that makes the party be in crisis. I don't agree to that. I don't. I don't support that process, but that doesn't mean that the party is in crisis.
Well, of course, we can see what the Reconciliation Committee headed by Senator Bukola Saraki is also doing. It does look like the party is not in the right shape it wanted to be. But of course, we must thank you, Governor Nyesom Wike, Governor of Rivers State, for your time tonight and the thought that you have shared.
I don't know, Shagun. No, Shagun. The mere fact you have the Reconciliation Committee does not mean the party is not in good shape. There could be a problem in one state, and then the party, as an opposition party, need to set up a committee to resolve that crisis. But that does not mean in total that the party generally is in crisis. That's not correct.
Thank you so much, Governor, for your time tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.